And here we are, with Golden Axe 3. I'm your host, Nakatalili, joined by my good friend Elemental Ochre. So, after the Return of Death Adder came out on arcade, everyone was like, man, this was a real cool game, can we get a home console port of that? And the company was like, nah, we'll make you your own game. And they made Golden Axe 3, and everyone hated it. So Golden Axe 3, for the most part, was universally panned. Without going into detail, it's not necessarily a bad game, but it doesn't really feel like a Golden Axe game, and it's also not necessarily a good game. Before we get going, because there's very little story in game. Oh no, go ahead.
So what you're saying, at least, is that it's a game.
It is most assuredly a game. So I don't think the game goes into much in the way of story, and we haven't really talked a lot about story up until now. So let's give just brief recap where the plot is. Golden Axe 1. So the gods made this thing called the Golden Axe. There's a lot of lore behind that I'm not going to get into. But it's just really powerful, lets you kind of rule the world, sort of. Magical kind of business. So a guy named Death Adder got a hold of it. That's him right there. Death Adder got a hold of it and decided, hey, I'm gonna rule the world. And that right there is actually the villain of Golden Axe 2. And try and guess who the next face is. But, so yeah, our heroes, Axe Battler, Tyrus Flare, and Gillies Thunderhead all got together and said, man, we sure don't like this guy. They killed him, they got the Golden Axe back, everybody was safe. Golden Axe 2 starred still the same group of guys. I forget who the villain was.
I forget
what his name was.
I'm trying to make up a stupid name like Murder Anaconda or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But, so that guy was, I think he was actually some, like, sealed demigod or something that, after a year or whatever, like, broke free and was like, cool, time to take over the world. By the way, I'll be taking this golden axe. Alright, so that happened, and then the three heroes from the first game were like, okay, we gotta do something about that. They beat him up, they got the golden axe back, everybody was happy. Return of Death Adder is on a different timeline from this game. Return of Death Adder takes place after Golden Axe 2, and is mostly just a, hey, some years down the road when Axe Battler and Tyrus Flare either retired or died, Death Adder came back and was like, man, I sure do like that whole world conquest idea that we had before. Let me go grab that golden axe again from you. They're real bad at defending this thing. And try to take over the world. And so Gilius was like, I'm the only one left, but we gotta take this guy down, so I'm gonna go round up a bunch of new guys who all really want to do this, just like we rounded up everybody for Golden Axe 1. And he did. He rounded up a whole bunch of guys. Like, a giant that he rides on the back of, and a guy who looks a lot like Axe Battler, and a centaur lady, and some kid. And then they did it, and that was that game. Golden Axe 3, now that we've gone through the whole hullabaloo. Years down the road, many years down the road, Gillies Thunderhead is now the only one of the original trio left alive, and at this point he is quite old. Far too old to fight. And so he said, we need to lay this whole mess to rest. I'm going to return the Golden Axe to the gods. So he got on a boat and started sailing across the sea to the edge of the world where he was going to give the Golden Axe back to the gods. There was a terrible storm that crashed his ship. When he came to on land, ship was gone, his crew was gone, the axe was gone. And after rummaging around for a little while, he discovered that there was a guy by the name of Darned Hexstrike, who was was a very powerful lord in the local area who had gotten a hold of the Golden Axe, may have even been responsible for crashing the ship, and said, "Hey, I got this Golden Axe, and I sure do like that whole world conquest idea." That's him right there. So we're gonna go do that thing. And he did, and nobody liked it. So Gilius was like, well, heck, I gotta get some people together to do this. And he did. He got 4 people together. And in getting those 4 people together, right as they were about to go about their quest, Hexstrike said, "I see you over there plotting," and he turned all 4 of them to stone. And then Gilius was like, well, crap. I'm gonna use all the power that I have to free 1 or 2 of you, depending on whether you're playing in 1 or 2 player. And that's it. That's the game, and now we're off. So this game, much like Golden Axe 2, is unbelievably difficult. For the record, there is no in-game code for infinite continues. There is an in-game code for a level select, but no infinite continues in-game. However, I used the level skip to take myself to the final level, and I burned through all of my continues only on the final level, and still did not get to the final boss. So, we weren't getting through this. So I had to break out the old Game Shark again. So we have an infinite continues code enabled, being completely transparent. Let's go 2-player. So these are people we got here. This lady is actually not Tyrus Flare. She is a dancer. This is not Axe Battler. This is just some guy who looks a lot like Axe Battler. Then we have Giant Guy there on the right and Panthro here on the left. Panthro was actually cursed by Hexstrike, and that's not his normal form. So, yeah. I'm going to be Dancer Lady. As you do.
I think I'm kind of annoyed at the fact that, like, 4 games in, when we finally there is an actual Golden Axe involved in this whole thing.
Oh, there was a Golden Axe in Golden Axe 1.
I'm aware. I know you just
it didn't look gold, but that thing he beat you with was the Golden Axe.
Yeah, you went over this whole story, and I was like...
Palette limitations and all.
Like, 4 games in, and I'm like, there is an actual Golden Axe this whole time?
Yeah, it's been the central plot, actually. The games just haven't really covered the central plot.
Yeah, when you said that, like, they used the axe for power and everything, I just went like, is that why all the bosses had an axe at the end?
Yep, that is exactly why they are...
That is the stupidest thing ever. It's like you had all this color and you just went like, we're not going to make it gold.
So each character has their own pros and cons with how they control. I'm willing to believe, as usual, that Dancer Lady here is actually one of the worst characters. Also Snail. Snail's got this cool little tongue that sticks out, but it has surprisingly short range, so it's hard to get on the other side of enemies. And they can knock you off of this thing super easy.
I'm just a wrestler.
You have amazing range, which makes the game surprisingly easier for you. Everybody just beats the crap out of me because I have 0 range. Even with this thing, I have 0 range. But let me tell you, Snail Dinosaur, cool mount. I like it. These ladies are the worst because they really like jump attacking. And jump attacking is something that I can do almost nothing about and will for sure get me off of my mount. Exactly. And then they immediately take your mount. Yeah, so if you've got your friggin' flying jump kick thing, that's just your straight up, you jump in the air and press attack. When I jump in the air and press attack, I just do this piddly little swipe right next to me that hits like nothing. It's this.
Yeah, I got a drop kick. That's the fun part.
Like, man, your jump kick is good. Admittedly, I tried playing through this with the Axe Battler guy, and I had a much easier time. But if I can't play as a sword-wielding, bikini-clad lady, then what's even the point? She's friggin' ripped, too. Look at those arms. Look, dancing takes strength.
Oh, thank God, one person had to go off the edge there. Oh yeah, I accidentally did that block maneuver.
Yeah, okay, so the controls have changed from the previous games. This game feels a lot more... Yup, that's what I wanted to do. This game feels a lot more like a traditional beat-em-up. Which...
There we go, under the cart.
Yeah. Which... It's difficult to explain. Like, I have trouble explaining the specifics of it, but this game does not feel, gameplay-wise, it does not feel like a Golden Axe game. It feels like a much more traditional beat-em-up.
It's very stiff. Like, a lot of the movements are stiff.
So you do have your regular attack, though. You've got your, dash attack. Dashing is super finicky. Like there, I double tap, and I run. But if I, like, turn around and now double tap, I just walk. Golden Axe 1 was super lenient with letting you dash. Like, if you pressed that button at all, you ran. Like, you didn't even have to think about it. You just... Oh, you press two directional buttons, one right after the other, you are running, good sir. And you could also do your attack, your jump attack, almost immediately after it. So you could be doing anything, and then just go, like, direction, attack, and you are kicking somebody across the room. This game's a lot more finicky about it. It's just kind of hard to get it off sometimes.
That apple's yours. Since you're low on health there. Alright, pick a destination.
Something they did take from Revenge of Death Adder is, I didn't want to kick you that way, but... Okay.
Oh, you got both.
Friendly fire is still on, though, so you know it's a Golden Axe game.
Yeah, what? The arcade game has no friendly fire. Did it? No, it had friendly fire. God, 4 games in, and they're like... Yeah,
enemies can guard, by the way, which is the most annoying mechanic I've ever seen. Because there's no way... You can guard, too. You press backwards and attack. Let's go this way. You press backwards and attack, and that lets you guard. This is unbelievably annoying, because sometimes I just want to attack a guy that's behind me. And instead of attacking the guy that's behind me, I guard and get attacked by the guy that's behind me.
Listen, if I can keep juggling him, I'm fine.
So, yeah, and even when you do guard, there's no way to, like, counterattack or anything that I know of. Maybe there is. There's no way to counterattack, though, which means after you guard, you're literally just right back where you were before. Like, they're gonna attack again, and now you've got to deal with their second attack. You can guard again and guard forever, or you can try to get out of it a different way, which you just should have done in the first place. Enemies do that too, but enemies have the benefit of ganging up on you. So while you're busy hitting one guy and not guarding, and he's guarding and you're not doing anything, somebody else just runs up and attacks you from behind. So yeah, guarding, a mechanic that benefits only enemies and is very annoying to players. Also jump attacks, everybody can jump attack. Enemies can jump attack, enemies can charge attack, they can all do it. These spear guys really like jump attacking, and I do not know how to handle jump attacking other than just kind of sidestepping down, but then they just jump attack me again. Hey, you get back here. Sorry, I was trying to, like, flip them backwards. That's an attack, by the way. Also, look how big this door is.
Mm-hmm.
This door is, like, twice my height. This is a 12-foot door.
Kind of implying your character is 6 feet.
Okay, it's a 10-foot door. That's still unbelievably high. So I think jump attacks are generally a pretty good strategy against these friggin' mace ladies, but I have a real hard time dealing with them. They also really like jump attacking.
I
I
mean,
just have an unbelievably hard time dealing with... I have, like, a ton of magic, and I'm about to continue.
I mean, my jump attack is basically just a drop kick. Why wouldn't I be using that?
Yeah, like, your jump attack is super good, though.
It's funny, too, because I actually have the height difference between it. I can go all the way across the screen, I can go a little further down and scoot, or I can go almost to the bottom of the screen and kind of do like a scooting along my butt there.
How do you do that?
It's height difference.
I've got
it's
this.
Literally...
Oh, it's just like you do it when you're closer to the ground or something?
Yeah, the closer to the ground I am, the less distance I get on it.
Oh, you
So
can
it's literally...
you can grab enemies.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, barrels. You can grab enemies. Nope, that was me. There we go. To grab enemies, you just get real close to them and hit the attack button. These guys really like guarding, and grabbing is generally pretty good at dealing with enemies who like guarding. You can see they took some things from Revenge of Death Adder. There's the split paths. You see some enemies in a little more casual situations from time to time. You see, like, the people running around that you actually free, though you don't really free them yourself. I don't know. Let's go this way.
Whoops, broke sign.
There's split paths, and unlike Revenge of Death Adder, I don't think we end up going back and playing them later, so we're going to be doing probably 2 playthroughs of the game. Just to show you off the other path. Yep. I don't know how to deal with them jump attacking me. I feel like if there were any mechanic in this game that I don't want the enemies to do, it's jump attack. Like, if they could just stop jump attacking, I would feel a lot better. That was just a thing they didn't do.
It's your apple there.
Mmm. Oh no, skeletons. These guys look pretty cool, though. Like, they could have gone with more traditional skeletons. But, like, instead they gave you these, like, lizard skeleton guys. They look cool. They also have shields, which means they block and are stupid annoying. But, have you gotten the idea yet that most enemies in this game are just really annoying? Like, most of them are. Oh no, it's Axe Battler!
It's a palette swap of Axe Battler.
Actually, it's not Axe Battler. Do you remember how I said that, the whole group of people was turned to stone at the beginning of the game and only us 2 were freed?
Is this one of those, like, you have to fight the other one?
Sorry. Wanted to keep him near the center of the screen. The evil spirits leave! His name is not Axe Battler, though. It's not. I'm still alive. Don't worry. I'll destroy the enemies around here. So we freed him!
What is his name? Sword Fighter?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's like Kane or something. Kane Swordman. Totally not Axe Battler, though. So apparently in one of the localizations of this game, they mistakenly renamed the Axe Battler wannabe to Axe Battler, and this dancer lady to Tyrus Flare, when they're not the same character.
Hmm.
Cave Crystal. Crystal Cave.
Crystal Lake?
Looks kind of cool. Yeah, admittedly, I have a hard time... Like, I know the game was pretty universally panned, and I have a hard time putting my finger on exactly why. Like, I can talk about how friggin' annoying 90% of the combat is in this game, but that could also just be me being bad at the game. which is completely rational.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to like a Let's Play like this, just let's just get shit done as best we can. Like that's the problem you had with Mario, was like it was fun, but it kept putting us back progress-wise. So we couldn't keep going forward and everything.
Yeah, it's like, I beat this game 30 times. Or I beat this stage 30 times, why do I have to... it's also really hard to knock enemies off cliffs. Well, that's the first time I've seen somebody do that.
I say as a lizard man walks on screen. Off you go, bitch.
Yeah, like, as far as more specific criticisms about, like, why it was universally panned, other than the fact that I just don't really find it fun to play...
That's your magic, I'm full.
I have a hard time putting down specifics. I've seen people complain about the sprite work. Like, there's a lot of kind of neat areas and inventive ideas, but the actual sprite work of the environments is just kind of bland and bad. I don't know if I necessarily agree.
What's with the onks on there?
I don't know.
I just noticed that as these skeletons guys came up.
Yeah, I don't know what those are. I noticed them before, but I've never known what they did. Didn't want to throw them backwards, but whatever. And there's a lot of things at the... There's a lot of things at the...
It's prisoner saved. I just freed somebody from that prison.
Oh. Oh no, it wasn't a prisoner! Or maybe it was at one point.
Whatever, me do rocks now. How could they have guessed that a wrestler person would be called The Rock later on in life?
Friggin' shields. The AI can be real annoying, but not in a way that previous Golden Axe games haven't been either. Like, they get their friggin' frame advantage, they will attack you on frame 1 available with no time for you to respond. Or, like, time things right. But, like, Golden Axe 1 did that. Maybe it's just the assumption that, like, by this point we kind of like to think we're past that.
I mean, we're, what, how many games in? We still, like, 4 games in, we still have friendly fire and...
I mean, it's not a Golden Axe game if it doesn't have friendly fire.
And they can still stun lock you.
Yeah, it's not a Golden Axe game without friendly fire, though I am admittedly very disappointed that we can't knock enemies off the edge. I think that's some of it. Like, it feels like this game went... It feels like mechanically they decided to make it more like a traditional beat-em-up and less like Golden Axe. But then, like, the solidity of the code feels like it went backwards. Like, it kind of feels like we should be making better games by this point.
I mean, when did this come out? 90?
I wasn't paying attention. Just like we're 4 games in, we've seen stuff like Revenge of Death Adder on the arcade. Like, we're better than this. Come here. I'm gonna grab your sword, bud. And get you back on screen so you can't walk off screen again. Oh, they can block your kick, too, which is cool. I'll throw them at you. You kick them out of the air. Okay, these guys are the worst. These guys are the friggin' cyber demons of Golden Axe 3. What specifically do they have that's annoying? What specifically does the cyber demon have that's difficult or annoying? Nothing specifically. He's just big, meaty, and kicks your sorry butt. And that's exactly what these guys are.
It's actually a not well-known secret that the spider mastermind, the cyber demon actually has Zangief's spinning attack.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
It's buried somewhere deep in the code. You have to really look for it.
Got him.
Just wait for the mod now where they actually have somebody do that.
Okay, so you do have a an escape if you're getting ganged up on, and it's like this or something. You've done yours, which is like the kind of break-in, and I think their Zangief twirl is the same deal for them. But yeah, their AI isn't necessarily doing anything specific that's frustrating or bad. They're just big, meaty, and like, they're big, meaty, and they hit you a lot. That's mostly it. Which, I mean, I can appreciate a traditionally hard enemy, but when you get your frame advantage and everything...
Listen, I don't much care for a quarter muncher on a system that does not do much for quarter munching.
Yeah, I think that's some of it as well, is this very much feels like a quarter muncher. When it was never an arcade game.